Hi everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's project is for Spellbinders, and I'm using the 3D Still Life and Canvas Large Die of the Month. And I'm also using the Crafty Sentiments, which is the August Glimmer Kit of the Month add-on. These two things are just fabulous, and everything that I used for this card is listed and linked below in the description and also on my blog. So I've die cut the pieces that we need to put together this cute canvas, this 3D Still Life and Canvas large die. So I'm showing you here that I die cut this, and there is different score lines for you to fold to make the legs to the easel for this cute canvas. Super easy to put together, guys. You just fold it on the line and it really makes kind of like this long rectangular box. Once you get it folded, you're going to add a little bit of glue to that inside piece. I'm using liquid glue, but you also could use tape runner or some score tape. I'm just holding that down to get it into place. And then that little tab at the top has a little score line that you fold down on. I'm adding a little bit of glue to that. And I'm just going to push it forward, and I'm just going to use my tool-in-one to hold it in place just long enough for that liquid glue to take hold. So now I've got those two pieces. I already did the other one off camera. The two pieces together, that's going to make the A part of this easel. Now I've also die cut this little triangular part that is like a, not a hinge, but like the part that holds it together, and I can't think of the word, you guys, I'm sorry. I did die cut that out of gold mirror cardstock, and these legs are die cut out of Mars green cardstock, and those are from Cardstock Warehouse. So I'm adding a little bit of glue to the pieces in the center, and I glued that A together. Now this is like a support to hold this together, if that makes sense. So I'm adding some glue to the front of that and adhering that down, and I'm also going to put one on the back side. So I die cut two of these out of gold mirror cardstock. One goes on the front and one goes on the back. Once that's dry, we're going to move on. So on these pieces here, I have to cut 3 more pieces, a back leg, like the bottom support and the top support, and it shows where some little score lines where you're going to cut them because they are all 3 different lengths. So I've already done the first one, as you can see the small little piece there, and that's going to be the top support. This piece that I am folding here on all of the score lines is the bottom support. These are all the same. What I liked about this is one die cut that you use for all 5 different pieces. I'm adding the glue on the inside and folding that up. Again, it makes like a little box, long rectangular box, and I'm going to set that aside and glue it. I've made the back leg and the small thing. Now, one thing I forgot to do ahead of time, and I'll show you that I did this, is I forgot to cut along the bottom line for the back leg because it needs to be shorter than the 2 front legs. Here is that bottom support. This is the piece that's the medium length. Adding a little bit of glue, I'm just lining this up on my grid to make sure that I'm gluing things down even, and I'm getting that nice and straight, a little bit of liquid glue, holding that down till it dries. Then you have this little tab piece that you fold 3 separate spots on each end and one in the center, and this is going to hold the back leg to that front support. Again, now the back leg, this is where when I'm doing this, I'm like, why is this not standing? Why is this not leaning back? Because I forgot to trim it. Again, there is a score line and there is instructions when you get this that shows you exactly where to trim it if you pay attention to the instructions. And I knew this and just forgot to do it, but I'll show you where I cut that in a minute when I realize why is it not working properly. So I see the little score line there. You cut it, it's actually on an angle because it still needs to be on an angle. Now that I trim it down and adhere it, it would stand up perfectly. This is the canvas piece that you die cut, and you can see all 4 corners have score lines that you will fold. I'm not going to do that yet because you need to decorate this before you fold all the edges. I am adding some purple tape on all those sides because I don't want anything on my sides. I'm going to make this look like there was some watercolor on the background. So I am masking off the flaps, rubbing it down really good to have a nice sharp edge for the tape. Taking some Simon Hurley inks, and I am using Over the Moon, Tropical Tango, and Prom Queen, and just adding it down on my Tim Holtz glass mat, spraying it with a little bit of water, and I'm going to just press this down and rub it, and then when we lift it up, we've got ourselves a watercolor image. Super simple. Now that that is done and dry, and it needs to be dry before you foil it, you guys, I am using the Crafty Sentiment, and this sentiment says Crafty Life, and I'm going to do this in Aura foil. I already foiled the other sentiment that comes in the Crafty Sentiment add-on, and it says Living the, so the whole sentiment is going to say Living the Crafty Life. Adding the foil underneath, I have my image on a hinge. That way, if I have to add more foil later, it just goes right into the back in the same spot. I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine nice and slow. Take your time so you get a good impression. I am using this on 120-pound cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm pulling that off, and I did notice on the letter C I needed a little bit more foil. So I'm going to cut another piece and just run that through again, let it heat up, run it through my die cut machine. And this is why you have it on a hinge, so it just goes right back in place. So now that that's done, we've got this beautiful glimmered image on our watercolor background. Now that that's done, you go and just fold again on all the score lines, add a little bit of glue on that very outside edge, and it just folds right in. And it gives you that edge, like when you have the canvas and it has that wooden frame that the canvas is wrapped around. That's what this gives you. So I'm doing all 4 sides, and when you fold them in, they fold in nice and neat and kind of have that mitered edge look. I'm using liquid glue. Again, you could use, I wouldn't use tape runner. You could use liquid glue or score tape. You want something strong on this to hold this together. Just putting my tweezers on there just to hold it down while I'm working on the next piece until it dries. And this liquid glue dries quick. I have die cut the other cute little images from the 3D Still Life and Canvas. You get paint brushes and a paint palette. You get flowers and a vase. You get like a little squiggly paint line in the dies. Really super cute stuff. So I'm putting these together. I have cut the handles of the paint brushes out of gold mirror cardstock, and I've cut the other pieces out of white cardstock. And I've cut the paint palette out of white cardstock, and I am just taking some Copic markers. I just did it in some really nice kind of pastel type colors, pinks, blues, greens, just whatever colors you want on your thing works great. And I'm just adding a little bit of color because we are going to inlay these back into the paint palette once this is adhered to the canvas. Keeping it super, super simple, purple, green, yellow, blue, pinks, 2 different kinds of pinks, and we are good. I glued all 3 pieces of the paintbrushes together. I'm only using 1. So now that we have our canvas done, let's glue on the sentiment, the top sentiment that I already foiled, and I foiled that in Aura foil, just like I did the Crafty Life sentiment. You don't have to glue this down to the easel, but I am. I glued it at the bottom and the top back part, just because I want it to stay put together. This is definitely not a card you send in the mail. This is definitely a hand-delivered card for sure. But I actually think I'm keeping it in my craft room because I think it's really super, super cute. I added that top piece on, that's that smallest piece that we made at the beginning. I added that to the top. Gluing on the paint palette with a little bit of liquid glue. Then I'm going to place these in, and this is just like fitting in little puzzle pieces because they are different shapes, which I really actually appreciate because I think that's a great detail. They're not all the same shape. I don't know, I just think that's just a really smart idea. It just makes it look really cute. I think this die set is absolutely darling. If it is not on your list to get it, you guys definitely need to order it because this is just so, so cute. Now that those pieces are in, I am taking two gray markers. I think I used W1 and W3 Copic markers and added just a little bit of flicking shading at the very base of the brush part of the paintbrush. And I'm just going to adhere that down. Now you've got this cute little image. I'm going to finish this cute card off with some glossy accents on the little paint palette, just on the paint spots. I want that to look nice and shiny, and I really think that adds a nice finishing touch. Cleaning up just any little edges with my tool-in-one, it is perfect for that. And look at how darling that is. Isn't this just the cutest die set? It is so much fun. I love how this turned out. And that foiling with the Crafty sentiments is just beautiful. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by. I hope that you feel inspired by this project. Thank you for all of your support. Please subscribe to my channel, thumbs up, share with your crafty friends, definitely comment because I love speaking with you guys. Thank you again for your support. I have some affiliate links below, so thank you for using those, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.